How about now? I have this new hotkey set up so that I can turn the mic on and off. And I keep forgetting to turn it back on whenever I start the stream. I will learn. I will learn. I even had it pulled up so that I could see visually that, I don't know how else you would see. I could see phonetically. I could see, I don't know. But I could see the sound bar. And I could see that it wasn't moving. So, I'll learn all about getting better and having a higher quality stream experience for the viewer. For viewers like you. Anyway. So yeah, took Renee to go see Uncharted for her birthday. I guess it's based off a video game, and I've never played the video game. I thought the movie was okay. I wouldn't watch it twice. But it's something I can take my kid to watch, so if and when it comes out on whatever streaming platform, you know, we might watch it again so that he can watch it, because he wouldn't enjoy something like that. But, you know, it wasn't that memorable as far as I'm concerned. It was okay. And then we were going to go out to eat, but we were so full off of candy, popcorn, slushy, and sodas that we were both just like, yeah, let's go home and we'll scrounge on snacks and leftovers. So that's what we did. We stayed up late and we sent Colton off to his grandma's. So we had the house to ourselves. That was nice. It was a nice quiet evening, to be sure. And then we went out to brunch this morning and had breakfast before we went and picked him up. It was nice. I love my son, but you know, I enjoy a break from him from time to time. And he had fun. He got taken to Chuck E. Cheese. Came home with some kind of inflatable hammer. I'm like, alright, that's, you know, hammer's a good choice for a prize, I guess. But it was funny because once we picked him up, I remember him asking one thing. And we were like, okay, hang on just a second, buddy. And then Renee and I finished up what we were talking about. And I looked back in the rear view, and he was out after, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes of driving. So then he was asleep the whole ride home. It was only about 40 minutes, but very clearly had a good time. So Renee got some Harry Potter pajamas, some Funko Pops from Harry Potter and Wally, and then a Quidditch ball salt and pepper shaker, which is pretty cool. There's this store nearby that has all kinds of nerd gear. Hey Barb, how you doing? and it's called The Collector's Outpost in the Gurney Mills Mall. They have a website, thecollectorsoutpost.com, and they have all kinds of fantastic Harry Potter stuff, but they have, you know, Lord of the Rings, The Witcher, just a bunch of Dragon Ball Z stuff, other animes that I'm not familiar with, and it's cool. There's a bunch of stuff I'd love for myself in there. But I go there whenever I need to get whenever I want. Let's see here. I did plan ahead and order some stuff online for Renee's birthday. I've been good about that. You know, not waiting till the last minute. I'm quite the last minute guy when it comes to getting gifts for someone. Right? If I'm not making your gift, which it's rare that I do that, but if I'm not making your gift, the likelihood is that I went to the store 5 minutes before I showed up to your house, because I am terrible at buying gifts. You're good? That's good to hear. So, I did manage to get some stuff ordered online, and I got that in. I was like, you know what? I know they're gonna have, going to the store, they have stuff there. Not that it's not listed online, but I can see it and get a sense for what it looks like. Like, I never would have found the Harry Potter pajama pants online on their store. I never would have looked for them, you know, or Quidditch ball salt and pepper shakers. So I went to their online store, I looked at the Funko Pops, I found the ones I wanted, and I called it a day. I didn't look for anything else online, but I went to the store, and I found a bunch of stuff. I was like, yeah, you know, this is right up her alley. So, it was good. It was a good birthday, I think. Now that that's all done with, the only, yeah, Mother's Day, and then I'm in the clear until my kid's birthday. That's easy enough. But, really, you know, the next time I go out and buy a bunch of gifts is going to be Christmas. So, and we'll see how that goes this year, because right now, a lot of things have to happen in order for me to be in a position to be buying anybody Christmas presents this year. But my goal is to get there, so figure if I'm buying Christmas presents, then I probably did pretty well after all the job security issues I've had so far this year. So I'm just glad it happened when it did. You know, this almost happened in November of last year, which would have been a really bad time. But the lady wants her tattoo finished, so that's what I have planned for her. So much like you enjoy last minute gifts. Nice. I want to get a tattoo. Of course, it's going to be a chainmail tattoo. I want to get a couple different pieces. I'm always very nervous about the artist, though, the tattoo artist. I don't know enough about tattoos to go in and pick someone. You know, I have friends who give me recommendations, and it's just a mess. And I should figure that out. But I'm in no position to get a tattoo right now either, so not really something I have to worry about. would like to get a bunch of different chainmail weaves tattooed on my body somewhere. Years ago, you would have offered to drive out there on your bike, but you don't do that work anymore. Just friends and family mostly. Yeah, I'm terrible at most things, to be honest. But getting gifts has always been I don't know what to get someone. You have a nice shop set up in your house, a whole room set up just for keeping clean for such work. For what, tattoo work? What kind of work are you talking about? What you talking about, Willis? You're doing apprentice tattoo work like 9 years ago, but laws in New Hampshire are horrendous. Interesting. Very cool. You wanted to get a tattoo, you also wanted to be an organ donor. Apparently here in Canada you can't do both. Really? That's interesting. I know that here in the States it's got to be, it's a couple of months or like 2 years since your last tattoo. Before you can donate blood. But I don't think that correlates to being an organ donor here in the States. I would have to look that up to be sure, but I don't donate blood, so I did back when I was in the military. Yeah. Really? That actually closed pretty well, even though it slipped. Hey Peg, how you doing? What the hell? What am I doing? It's like 9 months minimum to get your license. Then you need to work in a shop. You don't work under another licensed person with a shop to gain the hours needed, and then they can drop you at any time for any reason. You got to redo it all again. Working with suppliers count as donating blood. Ha, yeah, right. Bit sore this evening. Flow practice today. Yeah. Those sound like gatekeeper laws. In a number of industries, there's laws put into place to protect the status quo, like healthcare, namely, investing, right? Like you have, unless you have $25,000 in your account, you have limits on your investing account and what kind of trades you make, right? So if you go in day one, if you and I both go into the stock market together on the same day and you have $25,000 and I don't, there's a lot of different types of trades that you can do that I can't. You got a pretty good lock on a move called the Steve now. You count that as a massive improvement. Nice. Good job. In nursing you gotta have a college degree before you can go and be a nurse, right? When 99.9% of everything you'll learn as a nurse is on-the-job training. right? If they were serious about having a large amount of nurses, they'd send everybody straight to clinicals on day one. They'd have a teaching hospital, and you would start out doing like CNA work, and you would move up your skills from there. Washington, Oregon, you only need pathogen training. It's horrible for some states for the laws to be called a tattoo artist versus others. Yeah, sounds like it. I mean, it's one of those things where how much money you make is really dependent on your skill and customer service, right? Okay, sanitation is a must, okay, but you don't need to have a PhD in sanitation in order to run a tattoo shop. And working as an apprentice, I don't know, okay? Like, it's great if you want that as like a certification, but if you just went and opened up your tattoo shop and you would like practiced on your buddies in your home garage, you know, before you set up your tattoo shop, you know, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to do that, provided you have a level of sanitation that works. Cross-contamination is the biggest reason folks screw shit up. I mean, and that's something you can learn and be trained on, right? Why you would get an apprenticeship, or why you would get, I don't know, certified by one, you know, sanitation inspector or another. But to make it so that you have to be apprenticed to someone, you know, and this goes in any industry. And it's just, they're just gatekeeper laws to prevent competition from cropping up for current industry members. The way I like to see things set up, right, is electronic certification. Okay? All your electronics go through a certification process. Who the fuck's it run by? I'm sure if you pick up a lamp or your toaster, right? You can see it's like a United Laboratories or a... God, what are they called? UNL something? It's a non-government group that checks how all the electronics are made and certifies them so that, you know, you don't die, right? And I don't know if it's just for home appliances or what, but I know things like microwaves, toasters, they all have their sticker on there. Shopper limit 2, like liquor license, only so many are given to an area. If they're all taken, no one will sell you theirs. You can't open a shop in that area. Yeah. So, non-government organization goes through and certifies all the electronics before they're shipped to your home or shipped to your store where you can buy them, right? All they're doing is checking it to make sure that it works properly and that you're not going to kill yourself when you plug it in. I'm sure they go through a number of different safety features that they've developed over time, but they're not restricting who can or can't sell toasters, you know? We just had one of the shops around here get their liquor license pulled, which is good. I guess like 5 people were shot there the other day. I didn't hear of anyone getting shot this weekend, so pulling it may have been the solution, but all the people that were hanging out there will just go down the street to another bar. Shoot each other there. I don't do the night scene here in Kenosha. I'm too old. When I was drinking, I drank at home. I'm not going out anywhere and paying $2.50 for a beer. No. And then on top of that, also, there's just like a rampant amount of weekend violence in Kenosha. Like every weekend, there's someone shooting out in public or inside a bar. And it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna go play eeny, meeny, miny, mo and figure out which bar is safe tonight, you know? So, it's a small town, and since American Motors, which got bought out by Chrysler, which closed, since they closed, right, there's just not a lot for people to do here. I'm told it used to be such a nice place. I think since Prohibition ended, all laws surrounding alcohol and tobacco, frankly, as far as, you know, who can sell them where and the taxes on them and that shit, I think I should have ended a long time ago. How's that looking? That's looking pretty good. I like that. You brew beer and mead, much tastier and less drama with getting a drunk driving or walking home and getting intoxication in public. The cops say they will drive you home free. If you call them, they won't. Dispatch will say you were too busy. But we'll make sure to keep a unit in the area to pick you up walking home, yeah. People are bored and their solution is to go get liquored up and shoot someone. Yeah, in Kenosha, yes, there definitely needs to be more something. I don't know. I think there needs to be more of the bars that these people frequent that serve these people repeatedly. I think more of those places need to be shut down. 2 of them have been shut down so far. The Red Room and now Coins. Just 2 dive bars here in Kenosha. Right? It's like, if you have a clientele that keeps bringing violence into your establishment, stop serving them. I don't know 100% of the details of the case, so I should avoid casting judgment on owners and staff, but, you know, from the outside looking in, it really looks like that's what was happening. So, yeah, you know. Wisconsin has something like 40 of the top 45 drunkest cities in the United States. I don't know how they measured that. I was reading an article on it once. It's like, I get it. It's cold. Ain't much to do. And I think I've mentioned before how the prosecutor, the district attorney here, would rather have a win, right? So he gives everybody a plea bargain. And everybody takes a plea deal. Okay? And then they rack up 4, 5, 6 DUIs before they really ever spend any significant amount of time in jail. You know? Cutting a more 12 gauge for your shirt tonight. May have them cut by Friday. Nice. Next weekend we'll see if you can get the ring cutter burning blades at least. That makes so much sense, and they'd be losing money. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they would be losing money. I mean, now they've lost all their income because they're being shut down, but making a rig to run the lathes as your motor for your cutter. You got a feed rig to auto feed the wire to coil worked out. Nice. So, anyway, it's just, I worked in a jail. I saw people come and go all the time. Same people, all for the same reason. I did a year and some change there, right? And that was too much. I should have left sooner. Very toxic place to work. From most of the jail staff was okay. The rest of the nursing staff was not. Everybody took a plea deal. The prosecutor chalked it up as a win in his book, and you know, they were out in a short amount of time with a small amount of fines, and they'd be brought back in the next weekend. It was a bit ridiculous. I've got, you know, just because I don't drink, like, I don't care if people drink, but I do care if people are popping off shots in the downtown area on the weekends, and it seemingly happens every weekend. Like I said, they shut down that particular bar, and I didn't see anything come across the Kenosha County scanner today or yesterday, but I didn't really look, so maybe something happened. News cycle's all jacked up with who can be the first to spout off something new about the situation in Ukraine. So I don't expect much from them. I did redo that lacing on my motorcycle vest. It's looking much better now. I'll finish it probably here in a little bit. I did get the antiquing for the armrests, which will be nice because I'm tired of, I got this mat has an edge and my arms are resting on the edge and I want my armrest back. So I've got that to antique, and I've got the flask piece that I did that I need to antique. And I think that's going to be the best look for that chainmail stamp pattern to really bring out the pattern. And then I'll seal it up. And then the arm, see here. The leather pieces for the armrest will get glued to the plastic pieces of the armrest, and then they'll be ready to go once they're antiqued and sealed up and glued on. Flask is going to be a little bit trickier because I've got to wet mold it to the flask, and then it might get cooked for a little bit. It'll be antiqued, stained, excuse me, wet molded, placed into the oven, and then laced up to keep it in place. And if that doesn't hold it, then I'll have to find some kind of cement to hold it in place. I don't know what works best. I have some super glue and some resin on hand that might do the trick, and it's just a piece to put, over on my shelf. It's not. Alright, Barb, have a good night. I'm not going to be taking it out in public or anything. Maybe to a Renaissance festival. But it's really just a piece for the wall. For the shelf. Just because I liked the pewter inlay piece that says swamp water on it. Contact cement works great for leather pieces. Probably need some of that for the armrests too. And look at that. God, that makes it look so much better. I'm gonna pick up some contact cement. Let me look at this picture here. Where am I looking? What goes over what? Alright, black. And then... okay. I'm going to add some black rings here to delineate where one piece of this scroll work stops and the other begins. But yeah, contact cement should work for the armrest and for the flask. Right, that seems to be, it doesn't require anything special. So there's got to be some out there, I'm assuming that most things are better than super glue and resin for that particular task. So I'll go grab some contact cement. And hopefully I will be able to finish those up here fairly soon. That'll clear up some space, and that'll be more projects done. The only other thing I need to do to my vest is the pockets on the vest are covered up, so I've got to make some holes for that and do some lacing for the pockets. Excuse me. So, and then tomorrow I don't have a job anymore, so I guess I just get to do this stuff all day long, while simultaneously figuring out how I'm going to pay to live, so it'll be interesting. Do a little work, go figure out what I'm going to do next, do a little more work, you know what I mean? And then one of the big determinants on how hard I'm gonna have to work to bring in money is gonna be how much of a percentage I get from the VA, because that's coming up too. Next Friday I have a hearing test. And then I think that's my last or second to last appointment with the VA. So I have a reasonable number of claims in. I should get a reasonable amount of disability. My goal is to get 100%, but I won't get that first time around. So we will see. And then it'll be nice because I will be able to focus specifically on making money from home, right? Using the computer in front of me. Speaking of the computer in front of me, I bought the computer in front of me a present, right? This is 32 gigs of RAM right here, right? And so what that's going to allow me to do is I use this computer for all the rendering, for all the designs, for all the products on the website, and now I'll be able to do it faster. Some of these designs take an inordinate amount of time. And so getting them down to be faster hopefully translates to me being able to do more. That's the goal. It was one of the things that I pulled the trigger on. I was like, if I'm gonna spend any money on anything before I lose my job, let it be this. That way I can at least work on stuff for the store faster. So I will I get to operate on my computer. I've never worked on a laptop before. I'm assuming that it's similar. There are YouTube instructions on how to do it. I've watched them, you know, seems fairly straightforward. So I'm just going to install the RAM and plug everything back in, and hopefully we won't have any issues. New computer toys are fun. Hell yeah. So this is, I've got 2 USB extensions. I've got speakers, the overhead camera, the front facing camera, all connected up right now, and a fan. I got a fan, right? Looks like it's hot down here. So I should be set with computer toys for a while. Oh, and my phone. My phone is plugged into my computer right now, too. I shouldn't need any more gear. Hoping the computer RAM solves my issue of designs just taking forever to render. And hopefully, it should also allow me to make them larger, right? That's another issue I've had. Things like duvets and bed sheets, they require very large images that my computer can't do, and you gotta render it at very large settings so that so that the printer knows what to print. And it can do it with, really good accuracy and just have a really high resolution image with which to print from. So I will have 6 hours a day, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. when I get home from picking up my kid to when I have to leave to pick him up, right? I'll have that time to work on anything and everything I can down here. My goal is to make it so that I never have to leave my basement, really. That'll give me a lot of time to work on just cleaning up some of these older projects. Get those out of the way. Get them done. And so, oh, and also I will probably not this week, but I will be streaming more during the daytime. You know, if I'm just sitting here working on a project or something, I just flip the camera on and go from there. Someday you'll have the shop set up to stream from and forge and sell blades full time again. There you go. Do it. I can do it. This working 9 to 5 shit. Fuck that. Where employment's dependent upon someone else's requirements. No, I don't think so. I'd love to have. Oh, it'll probably never happen in this house, right? Yeah, but I would love to have a whole, just a forge and a press, forge, a press, an anvil, a hammer, some tongs. You forge first house, car, motorcycle. After forging, you just gotta get set up going again. Not having a Bridgeport or 2x72 bandsaw has turned 20-minute projects into 6 hours. Oof. Ooh. Yeah. Yep. Your little ring, I just want to bend you open. Right. Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna continue to work with an individual selling some of my chainmail stuff. I'm not going to seek out a way to sell chainmail stuff on my own right now. You know, I'll take whatever commissions I get from interacting with people here, but other than that, you know, that's never been the point of this, and it's never been my goal. Maybe one day, when I have all the systems in place, you know, come in, spend a couple hours checking on those systems, making sure everything's running smoothly, turn around, work on craft projects, and then maybe. See. Yeah, I like. Okay. I think a lot of the friends that I have on the internet know that I make chainmail, and they've popped in on stream and seen what I do, and they see the stuff that I make, and they think it's cool. I like being known for that, right? But I'd much rather be known for my website and interviewing people and promoting other people's stuff, you know, like going to a booth and setting up and making product specifically for that sounds like a ton of fun. When I've done it before, it's been an interesting experience. It's not something I want to do for a living. You know, I watch other vendors do it, and they're out every weekend at some Art in the Park event, and they're props to them because they're doing stuff that I couldn't and wouldn't want to do. Plus, all of them are much better chainmail artists than I am anyway. I see some of the stuff that I do, I'm like, I couldn't even conceive of that, much less, you know, turn it into something profitable. Looks. That's how you feel watching me weave inlays from your head? Like, what, can't even do basic lettering for your name, let alone business? Yeah. Well, I mean, it's from a picture, right? It's not... I don't know, once you like start doing it, this is the only way I've ever done inlays, is by freehanding them. I haven't done that many or anything. I just Michigan State or University of Michigan flag is pretty straightforward. It's just an M with a blue background, right? Green Bay Packers, kind of the same thing, right? University of UT, University of Texas, right? The Longhorns symbol. That one was a bit harder. That's somewhere in Facebook or Instagram album somewhere. The Raiders inlay, you know, clearly wasn't able to do it 15 years ago when I started it, but had I just sat down and worked on it, it would have been a lot better. Could have gotten it done a lot sooner, right? So I'm not 100% certain that I wasn't able to do it, just that I didn't know how to make myself finish it, you know? Once you get used to doing it that way, it's just making yourself work on it. Because you'll figure it out if you're freehand and stuff. And, you know, you've been here long enough, you know I don't recommend anyone doing that ever. Because you end up like me, with not enough rings and having to redo a ton of shit that you shouldn't have necessarily had to redo in the first place. So, map it all out, get it graded out, know how many rings you need beforehand. Order them all in one batch. That's really the best way. I don't know if it's the best way. It's a better way to do them than what I'm doing. I don't recommend anyone doing this shit. You have to buy a ton of colors and them not match. You would rage and toss around and pretend it never happened. Yeah. I don't even know. I'm pretty sure colors of anodized aluminum from a batch should all match, right? So if you got to order specific colors for an inlay, you have to order them all from the same batch. But I don't know for certain if that's true. All right. How's that look? Woo, look at that. That's one of the reasons I try to avoid colors in anodized aluminum in general. One, I'm not good with them, but two, I can't guarantee that they're going to match, you know? I want to branch out a little more into the rainbow titanium and the blackened titanium from Whitney Maille. Work with some of Josh's rings. I've never ordered from Hyperlinks or We've Got Mail, so I don't know what the consistency of their ring color is. I would have to ask them. Maybe I will one day. First shirt took like a year to coil, cut, and weave. 16 gauge galv. Your latest shirt took just over 2 months. Could have been less if you only made my shirt versus 88 sheetings through other projects. Muses inspired. Yeah. That. I got a whole desk over here that's a testament to that. I get it, man. I do have, your shirt costs you $30 in time. Nice. That's... That's the way to go if you can. You know, cheap, I mean, cheap is great. I'll never... If I gotta make my own rings for another shirt, that shirt isn't happening. Maybe if I'm bankrupt and living on the street and all I got is a pair of pliers and, you know, some wire I stripped from a nearby traffic light or something, right? Would I order riveted rings? Maybe. Or would I make my own riveted rings? Yeah, probably. But I'll never try to anodize my own aluminum rings, right? You know, I don't think most people will. I might try and anodize some titanium rings, but I'm going to order the rings first. I'm not going to make them. Other people have that skill set, and it's the division of labor, and it's beautiful, and you know, I'm gonna let them do their thing and utilize their rings, because I don't want to do it. You have not found a good maker of quality riveted rings so far. Yeah, no. I don't. Is there even some that exist? Is there anybody that focuses specifically on riveted rings? Rip them out. Like, if you can find a way to make a large amount of riveted rings, manufacture them, right? The advantage is more than you pay yourself for something you can make. Why would you outsource it if all you're doing is enjoying your time like playing video games? Well, it may not be important to you, right? Doing it yourself may be, you may be better off doing that. I'm not saying, and this is a personal preference of mine. I'm not saying everybody should do it this way. Right. I'm not going to make my own rings. If other people want to, more power to them. And that's where some folks seem to think it's work versus just having fun. Yeah. You can sit there and clip a lot of rings while you're engaged in while your attention is diverted. So, I mean, if that's your thing, run with it, but for riveted, I don't know of anybody who makes them that are, you know, that it would be cool to have a couple different materials you could make riveted rings out of. I think that would probably, I think a lot of people would be interested in that, if you could anodized aluminum riveted rings. Maybe not so much, but riveted titanium, in addition to riveted steel. Oh, that's spicy. Like, if I were to go into making rings, like, that's a market that's, I don't think anybody's necessarily cornered. It can't be that hard to get something to feed the wire, coil it, cut it, stamp it, right, into a perfect shape, and throw it in a bucket along with thousands of others. You're talking about it from the point of enjoyment, like reading a book or learning a song, and say do it versus pay someone. You don't tell others they need to. Yeah, no, I think I'm smelling what you're stepping in. I'm picking down what you're putting up. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Something like that. I don't know. Some people do. Some people love making, you know, all their own stuff, saying they handcrafted it, coiled, cut, clipped all the rings, and put them together. I have done that. And I just find that other people make a better quality ring, including you, than what I can produce on my own, without investing in a significant amount of equipment. Right? I mean, you know, say just buy the shirt of mail, why buy rings? Yeah. Yep, because you can tailor the shirt of mail to yourself while you make it, and you can put whatever designs in it that you want, and I mean, the list goes on and on. Oh, my leg's numb. Alright. Oh, okay. Alright. So later on this week, we'll work on this project some more. I've got rings coming from TRL. Anodized aluminum, green and black. With any more green, and I don't have enough black. I have that much black left, right there. There's 2 more rings right there. That's it, right? We're gonna finish those up here in a little pit. Okay. And I need to know if the aspect ratio difference is going to affect the inlay, and how badly. I'm hoping it's just something that we can integrate right into the inlay without a problem. And that's probably what we're going to do, regardless of how badly it screws it up. So hopefully everything will work out, and then if it does, great, we'll order some more rings and try and get this inlay finished at some point. Due to current constraints on my financial situation, I won't be spending a lot of money on projects. but I think we should be able to finish up this one at least. Gecko Gangster, hi, Nightbot. Welcome to the stream, Gecko Gangster. Oh, my Nightbot worked over on Twitch. Holy crap. Hi, Gecko Gangster. How are you? Everybody on Twitch always comes like, right at the end. I'm hoping if I stream during the day at all, that changes. Right? I'll be able to stream for a longer period of time. I'm doing alright, Gecko Gangster. Working on this inlay project. Trying to use up what little black rings I have left. And then we'll be done for the night. I had one bot over on YouTube. Most everybody's on Facebook, and it's always nice to have someone from Twitch show up. Every time you go to the next row, you got to switch the whole inlay around. It's so much fun. Is it hard to make something with this material? This is anodized aluminum. It's not that hard. You can weave this for a long period of time, depending on the gauge and your pliers. Before you start having issues, you always want to be careful with your hands, of course, but I don't know, I've been going for an hour, and I mean, I could use a break from weaving. I'm almost done, so I'm not going to stop now, but if I took a 15-minute break, I'd feel better, and I could weave for like another hour. Steel, much more difficult to use. Titanium, same thing. But aluminum's pretty soft, pretty flexible, pretty malleable, I should say. So, it's a good material for inlays. I don't know if anyone has made an inlay in any other material. Like, I've never seen something specifically labeled a titanium inlay. Or a niobium. That would be really expensive, a niobium inlay. Niobium is probably too soft for an inlay. I could be wrong, but... yeah, I'm sure someone's done it somewhere, I've just never seen it. I think that inlays kind of, anodized aluminum has kind of lent itself to performing much better at doing inlays than anything else as far as a color and cost value go. Niobium is a light gray crystalline and ductile transition metal. Pure niobium has a mole's hardness rating similar to that of pure titanium. The only niobium I've worked with has been like 20 gauge, and it's super soft. So 20 gauge titanium ain't all that hard either, but it was notably harder than the titanium, or is notably harder than the titanium was more hard than the niobium. The niobium was like dead soft. Where's the opening of this ring? Come on, where are you? Alright, sometimes. There we go. Found ya. If you have a ring that's been perfectly closed and you can't find the opening, give it a little tweak and the opening will just pop up. You can be honest with me, you know nothing about this method, and that's why you came to my stream. This method of making chainmail, making an inlay. I mean, have you ever seen chainmail before? Made it. There is a tool I'm hoping to add to the stream that will, it's like a multi-chat tool, so it'll get all the chats into one chat thread, and hopefully everybody will be able to see it. I'm not 100% certain how it works. Okay, so Gecko Gangster, this is called Chainmail. It's based off medieval armor, right? It's just rings connected together in specific patterns, and there's dozens and dozens of patterns. Hundreds of different patterns you can use. And I'm using it in conjunction with anodized aluminum, which is just aluminum that has been treated with chemicals and electricity in a process to give it this color, right? And I'm basically making a pixelated image from that. I think that that's what I'm doing. I don't know if that's the best way to describe it, to be honest. That's okay. That's, man. Alright, I am all out of black. So I can, all the areas where there isn't gold scroll work crossing itself, right? So like here and here and here, I can just replace all that with this orangier mustard yellow color. What time is it? 10:10. I'll throw these last couple of rings in here and so I can work on that while we wait for the other rings to show up to see if they fit. And then once we have those, we'll do a little bit more work. We'll order a few more rings, wait for those. We will one day finish this project. And I am ridiculously happy with the changes I've made to this design, and I couldn't have done it without all of you. Just give yourselves a round of applause and a pat on the back. You've been wonderful. Alright, throw this last gold ring sitting here, yellow ring. my desk. Let's lay this out and see what it looks like, right? That outline is awesome. I'm stupid glad that you guys talked me into it. The color change it's gonna look good. It's gonna be awesome once it's done. And then you can see all the lettering. Woohoo! It's looking so much better. All right, I'm excited. All right. Even the color change in or even the multi-varied colors of green that I have in this don't bother me as much as they did. You know? Now that I've said, you know, to hell with it, I'm either going to finish it or throw it away. Like, all the little things about it that bothered me 15 years ago when I started it, they don't bother me as much anymore, and I'm really happy. Yeah, I'm gonna change this gold into this color, because I don't have enough of this gold, and if I try to order more, what I found in the past is that because I didn't order enough rings for the inlay and didn't plan the inlay out properly, I get different colors of gold, and it looks terrible. So I have enough of this one yellow color to do the whole inlay. This is what it's going to look like when it's done, except green, the letters are silver, outlined in black, and, you know, yellow scroll work instead of gold. And it actually looks a whole lot more like the original image, which was on a t-shirt. But yeah, doing the outline, changing the color, the yellow to a brighter, orangier yellow, right? I mean, it's made tremendous changes to the way the whole thing looks, and I'm ridiculously happy with it. I just got to make sure that the rings that I ordered match. I ordered some rings last week, and I got to make sure they match these rings, which are, how old are they? 15 years old now. It's been 4, 10s, 14, 16. It's been at least 16 years since I started this project. So, and I've only been working on it for the last 2 months, making these changes. I just did all the black outline of, 15 years I started. I worked on it for a couple of months, and then I set it aside. The whole point of me being down here streaming is to get to a point where all these projects that are sitting next to me are finished, because I've got a lot of them, and I have a bunch of rings that I bought that I never made plans for, and so that's why I'm here. And, you know, to promote Chainmail, to promote other Chainmail artists, and to promote my website, you know. So, but yeah, most of this is, all the rings in this are about 15 to 16 years old. And they've been sitting, waiting for me to get back to it. I had a lot of color issues, right? None of the greens match. The gold that's on here, there's 2 different types of gold on here. So I don't want to order more unless it's going to be, you know, for the whole inlay. But I've got enough of this yellow it's close enough to the original image. It's fine. So I'm going to work with that and work with what I have on hand, and, you know, try to finish up all these projects and make some nice stuff and go from there. So, but I am 15 minutes past my time. I do have to get ready for bed. All right. Thank you so much for stopping by, Gecko Gangster. It was awesome to meet you. Hope you have a wonderful evening. As for everybody else, please be sure to hit whatever platform you're on, the like, follow, subscribe buttons, and share. Right? Yeah. All those nifty buttons that help me defeat all the evil algorithms of social media platforms. Hit those. You have a good night too, Gecko Gangster. And I will be back. I don't know if I'll hop on during the daytime tomorrow. I might. It depends on how my day goes. But tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Central Standard Time, I will see you guys there. You guys have a wonderful evening. All right, you